We've barely been here a month, but it seems like every single project turns into 2 or 3 more. I've got Seatown Services coming here to rip out all of our knob and tube and replace it with modern wiring. But to complete the job, they said they had to rip out the ceiling of our playroom down in the basement to run wires into the master bedroom and the TV room upstairs. But we don't have drywall up here. This is just thin plywood boards, and the idea of them ripping a 10-foot long line to put in the wires, well, that just becomes a whole other project. I thought it would be easier to take down the plywood boards and then put them up when they're done. But these were nailed up, and the nails, just take a look at this photo. These nails are not just flush with the plywood, they are deep inside of it. It's a huge, painful thing to knock all of these out. But once I got that first plywood panel out, the second one and the third one, they just came out so much easier because I had some leverage to pull them down. Anyway, you get the idea. I got them all down with a little bit of help from Seatown, and you can see they were able to run the wires right through the floor joists and back to the panel. They warned me, though, that when we had our service upgraded to 200 amps, they would need to move the entry point of our service forward in the house. So we should delay finishing that playroom until we get the service upgraded, because they would just have to rip holes through it again. So when I put these panels back up, I initially did a few pins just so that they would stay in place, and then I put in screws to hold them in. That should make it easier to take down. Some of the panels were pretty big though, and I needed my wife's help. When we got to the final panel though, it felt really flimsy, and my wife said, you know, look at the bottom of that thing. It's just in terrible shape, it's got a ton of water damage. Is it even worth putting that up again? We knew from the inspection before buying the house that there was dry rot on the front porch. Here's a photo the inspector took of jamming a screwdriver straight down through the front porch and into the playroom. But we didn't realize how extensive that damage was, because it was all hidden behind those plywood panels. You can also see up here in the floor joist, there's a bunch of discoloring, again from the water coming in. Thankfully, the wood isn't rotting down here. It's discolored, but it seems really firm. There was one bit that cracked off, but that doesn't seem like that big of a deal. This just highlights that I need to refinish the front porch to make sure that water doesn't leak in this rainy season.